In this quick video, we will take a look at comparison charting, and this will be part 1, basic comparison charting. For more advanced comparison charting, please see the second part, which is on a separate video. Okay, let's go to a new page, and before I start comparison charting, I always like to change my charting preferences so that I display a line chart instead of a bar chart. To do that, just go to your preference button. That's that red check mark tool on the toolbar. Click it. The preference window will open up. On your left side, click on charts, and then on the right side, select the down arrow under default chart type. Click it and select line, and then OK. So that now, whenever you chart something, it will be a line chart instead of a bar chart. Okay, the first comparison charting will be very simple. First, I need to open up a chart, so go to the charts menu, click on chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NYMEX crude contract QCL @1 prompt month. Notice my line chart. Now let's compare a simple symbol to the crude. Let's compare the electronic Brent contract. So I right click, select add symbol, type in my symbol EB @1. Now here is a very important item to note when you're doing comparison charting. This selection here, attached to existing Y scale, you will have to check mark that sometimes, and other times you will not. Now you want to check mark it and select to add this symbol to the existing Y scale when the two items that you're comparing are very similar in price. So my electronic Brent contract will be very similar, so I'm going to attach it to the existing Y scale and hit OK. And there you can see now my blue line is my Brent contract, my black line is my NYMEX crude contract, and they are very close in price. Now let's add another symbol, and I will right click, again select add symbol. This time I'm going to put my RBOB gasoline onto this chart, so it's QRB @1 prompt month. Now, since the RBOB gasoline trades down around $2 to $3, it's not very similar in price, so we would not want to select it, but I'm going to just show you an example of what happens when we do select that. So I go ahead and check mark to have that attached to the existing Y scale and hit OK. And you can see down here in the red my RBOB contract does not compare very well because it's just a straight line down there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that now just by pointing to it and right click and select delete and hit yes. Now let's add it again. Right click, add symbol. The symbol's already in the box, so I am not going to attach it to this existing Y scale so that it will create its own Y scale. So I hit OK, and now that green line is the RBOB contract, and note that on the left side it's added its own Y scale. So the crude's on the right and the RBOB is on the left, and now you get a better comparison, and you can see how those two trade very relative to each other. Okay, let's add another symbol. Right click, add symbol. This time I'm going to add my natural gas contract, so QNG @1, and since they don't trade near either one of these other symbols I've charted, I'm not going to attach it to either Y scale, and then hit OK. And there in the purple you can see my natural gas contract, and notice the Y scale over here on the right now is that of the natural gas contract. So you can see on the left side is my RBOB, so where is the crude Y scale? Well, it's on the right too. So to display it, what you have to do is click on one of the contracts, one of the lines, and notice the Y scale then changes to the crude Y scale. To change back to natural gas, just click on the natural gas. Okay, so that's one form of very simple comparison charting. Let's add something to this chart. I'm going to add a differential, a simple calculation, and I want to see the differential between the two crude contracts. So I just right click, select add symbol, and Here I will type in the formula. So QCL at 1 minus EB at 1. Notice I'm going to add it to a new stack, and when I do that, the attached to existing Y scale is grayed out because there's no existing Y scale. So I hit OK, and then down below in a second stack you see my differential. Okay, let's do one more simple comparison chart. Let's open up a quote sheet. So I'll go up to my quotes menu, click on quote sheet. And let's add a few symbols here. I'm going to add my QCL at 1, crude, my Brent, EB at 1, and I'm going to add my Platts WTI contract as well. So PCACG00, enter. So I've got 3 symbols up there. So you could have as many symbols up there, and what you can do to compare them in the chart is just click one, then I'm using my shift click to highlight all 3 symbols, and then I can right click and select new chart, and there you go. All 3 symbols were added to the same chart, and they've all been added to the same Y scale. So that concludes this quick video on simple comparison charting.